Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seidat Admin Training Webinar. My name is Emma Ojapuska, and I will be your host today in the webinar. This webinar is for brand managers, smart slide editors, owners, and admins in Seidat. If you're just a basic user, I suggest that watch our user training webinar. We have all user training webinars as recordings on our website if you go to seidat.com/academy. And from there, you will find out how to do basic stuff in Seidat. Today, we're going to go through how to manage Seidat brand-wise, so visually, and also team-wise, so how to manage your users. Here you can see our today's agenda. First, we're going to start with what Seidat is in a nutshell. So I will just shortly introduce what Seidat is in a nutshell to everyone who has not used Seidat before. After that, we go through team and user management, content management, and also analytics. So I'm going to start with the Seidat in a nutshell introduction. And if you have any questions while I'm talking or in the middle of the webinar, please don't hesitate to ask. There's a chat that is open. You can use that. Or if you want, you can also just open up your microphone and just ask in person. Note that this webinar is being recorded. So if you have any questions afterwards, you can always come back to this webinar. Of course, you can still ask me. Or if you have colleagues you think that should watch this webinar, you can send the recording to them too. All right. We shall begin. What Seidat is in a nutshell. So Seidat is, as we all know, a presentation platform. And with Seidat, you can basically do everything you can do in the traditional presentation platform. So for example, PowerPoint and Google Slides. You can create presentations, present them, and share them. But we do things a bit differently. The idea is that everything is in one place online, and you always share everything online. Which say that you can even present your materials without screen share, and you can share them without having to send a PDF presentation to anyone. The reason why our customers take Seidat into use is centralized collaboration. This is the main idea where it all began. So the idea is that you have all your materials, sales materials, marketing materials, guides, whatever you have them all in the same place, and people can utilize them no matter which business unit they belong to. So here, just an example. We have a sales process, and during the sales process, there are different steps that require different kind of materials. So for example, first we have here lead generation. You might send out guides to possible customers. Hey, this is how to buy our product, or whatever guide you might have. After that, your sales get the lead and they start contacting the customer. Sometimes they might be using some sort of a intro deck, your company in short. After that, they get the meeting. They are presenting their sales deck, and after the meeting, they send meeting memos or whatever, this kind of extra information about your products and so on. If the customer likes it, then they get a proposal and finally an agreement. So these are the basic materials that are being used during a sales process. And the idea of Seidat is that you have all of these materials in the same place. And when you have them in the same place, you can centrally manage them, and you can also utilize these all different presentations or materials together. So if I show you this kind of slide, it might look not that simple, but it really is. So usually what we have is marketing is creating company slides, saying that, hey, this is our company, these are the numbers, these are our references, and so on. So they have their own company deck, and what they're responsible of is brand management. Then we have product or service teams creating their own slides and own presentations. But usually these people also need some of the materials that the marketing is creating. Then we have different business units. So sales decks, intro materials, depending how your company is organized. They are using, again, their own slides, but also they need some of these slides that the marketing unit or the product teams have already created. Then we have the salespeople, and they have the customer-specific slides or materials, proposals, meeting memos, and so on. And when the salespeople create their materials, they want to utilize all of these. So now you understand why it is important that all of these materials are in the same place and easy to utilize for anybody. I have said that Seidat is big on centralized material management, and how it really works, other than just having everything in the same platform, is with different features. So firstly, we have brand settings here. And brand settings in Seidat means that you set up your color palette and your fonts in Seidat. And after that, everyone uses the same color palette. Everybody uses the same font. So marketing usually creates this. And after the brand settings are set up, the normal users, for example, salespeople, they cannot use any different fonts, for example. Some people might want to get silly and use Comic Sans in their offers, but if you're using Seidat and you have not set up Comic Sans in your brand settings, then they will not be able to use that. Then we have Media Bank. So it says here Image Bank, but now it is also Media Bank because you can also add videos there. So you have a ready-made Media Bank where you have all the company images, logos, background images, staff images, and so on. They are easy for everybody to find and use. And also, if you are working in marketing, then you can also keep track on what kind of images your sales guys are using, just to make sure that they just don't copy-paste something that they find on Google. Then we have smart slides. So here we have two presentations. We have presentation A and then we have presentation B. Here are the slides that the presentation has. And both of these presentations now have this smart slide in them. And what it means is that if we have a smart slide in two different or million different or 1,000 different presentations, we can centrally manage it and update it from one place to all the presentations where it is used. So basically, we have, for example, company numbers. Today, it's 2023. There's 12 of us, and we have 300 customers. Next year, it's a different year, different amount of employees and different amount of customers. Normally, you would have to go find each one of the presentation, update that slide, and then you do it over and over again until you're done with all the presentations. But now, if you use Seidat and if you use smart slides, you can just update that one company slide in one presentation. And once you click save, the changes will be shown in every single presentation that anybody is using. Then lastly, we have iframe. So for example, if you're selling a product and the price point might change every day, you might have that price somewhere online. Or then you have a big product catalog and that is changing every week. Usually that catalog is somewhere online. You can actually embed all kinds of websites with iframe technology to Seidat slides. So let's say that you have yourcompany.com/pricing. That pricing is changing every day. You only need to once embed that website to Seidat. So basically copy paste the link to that or the URL to a slide. And after that, you will have the same website visible on the slide. So basically what I do with this, we do not have a pricing point that is changing every day. We also don't have a product catalog that is online and changing every week. But what I have is I have a calendar that is changing every day. And what I have done here is I have embedded my calendar to a slide. So this is just a basic slide, and here we have my calendar. If you want to book a time to discuss with me, you just click on the date and confirm and then try to book it. So this is how you can embed other materials from online or wherever you have them on your website, on Drive or OneShare, whatever you're using. If it's online, you can basically embed it. There's a lot of different content options in Seidat, so not just websites, but also, for example, 3D images, 360 videos, whatever you want to use, you can embed to Seidat and make your materials way richer than what they were in other platforms. Now, I think I have gone through the basics of Seidat, so most likely you get the big or the what Seidat is in a big picture. I will still shortly go through some features that are important when you start creating your materials. So we are used to having this kind of presentation. This is just a simple PowerPoint with cover page, company information about your solution, product, and then the pricing. This is the basic PowerPoint. And then we have a Seidat presentation. It looks like this. And the difference here is that we have this possibility to create sales decks and other decks in matrix structure. And the idea is that here on the front line or on the first line, you have the basic themes or the elevator pitch. So the things that you go through in a meeting. And then below each slide, you can have more information about that specific topic. So for example, you have a references here. It's a big logo wall with all your references. And then you want to have different reference stories. You can just add them below this slide in the matrix format, and then they are easier to find while you're in a meeting or just when you're looking for certain materials. Now you might think that how one presents this kind of material in a meeting, well, that's not a problem. We have a presenter view for this. So basically what it means that while you're presenting, you are never looking at just one slide. As a presenter, you are always looking at the whole matrix structure of the presentation, and the viewer who you are presenting to is only looking at the same slide that you want to show them to. So even if you have a huge sales deck, for example, I have my sales deck or my meeting deck has like 200 slides. I never show all of them, but when I want to show one of the slides, I can just easily jump into that slide in the presenter view, and the people who are in the meeting won't notice that I'm actually jumping between slide to slide from completely different place to another. All right, so that was Seidat shortly. What we're gonna go through next is the team and user management. So how you manage your Seidat team, or the account and the users that you have there. In Seidat, you can invite everybody. So it's not just for salespeople. You can invite sales guys, marketing people, CEO, product managers, the more the merrier. And if you don't trust everybody as much visually, or to have the same graphic eye, if I could say it like that in English, then you can give them different access levels. So the idea here is that if you are a marketing person and you are in charge of how your brand looks like, then you are the brand manager in Seidat. So you are the one who controls how all the presentations look like. But if you are a sales guy, it is most likely enough that you are an editor. So basically then you cannot touch the main brand image, but you can switch. You can create presentations and you can present them and share those with the link and so on. So let's go to the actual platform and I will show you how to manage the team that you have in Seidat. If you have a Seidat account, please log in now, app.seidat.com, or then you can just register and create an account and do while I'm showing. So this is the front page of Seidat, and once you want to start inviting other people to your Seidat team, or if you need to edit their access levels, you go to users page. And here we have everybody who is part of this specific Seidat account. If you want to invite more users, you just click there and invite them. Then next to the user, we have the access level. So if I click on the three little dots here, you can see, okay, Anna is owner and also a brand manager. Owner and admin are basically people who can control the account. They can invite people there, they can take somebody's access levels off, they can also edit the billing details and so on. So they are just the administrative people. And then after that, we have the presentation access level. So brand manager can manage the brand. They can set up the brand settings, edit the fonts, edit the color palette that everybody is using. And then after that, the lower we go, the less rights you have. So then we have the smart slide editor. Basically, They can edit smart slides, so the slides that can be used in 1,000 presentations at once, but they cannot edit the brand settings. So they cannot do anything to the fonts or or the color palette, but they can centrally still manage the materials through smart slides. Then we have editors. So basically, usually sales guys have editing rights. It means that they can log into Seidat, they can see all the presentations, they can edit the presentations, they can create their own, but they can only use the brand settings that the brand manager has set up. They can use the smart slides that smart slide editors have created. They can create and use normal slides, but they cannot make any edits to the smart slides that we have in the Seidat account. And after that, we have also sharers, viewers, and no rights. So these are basically for people who you don't want to be able to edit any presentations, create any presentations, just share them, view them, or don't want to give them rights at all. All right, so that's how you edit the access levels of users and invite new users or delete users from the account. And now that we have everybody in the same account, it also means that everybody has access to same presentations. So here I cannot count, but many presentations. And what it means is that these are probably presentations that everybody else sees, unless I am filtering these presentations in my dashboard with tags. So you might think that, okay, now I'm going to put this presentation to a folder, but that is actually not something you're going to do in Seidat. Instead, you're going to use tags to filter out these presentations. And how tags work is that here on the front page, you have this little price tag icon. Once you open it, you have all the tags that are in your Seidat team. I am a brand manager in this Seidat account, so I also have a possibility to edit tags. So basically, I can add new tags here. If we have a new sales guy called Ben, I would just add Ben's name here. And then everybody can see that tag. I can also set up workspace tag defaults. And what this means is that if I have, for example, English, Finnish sales company, proposals, agreements, and marketing as tag defaults here, it means that once I invite a new person to join our Seidat account, these will be the tags that are on his or hers front page when they log in. So I successfully add here default tags and add the ones that you think that everybody should see, just like the general ones, language options, for example, presentation type, so company proposal and so on. And then once those are all set up, new users will have here pinned tags. If you have already been using Seidat for a while and you didn't remember to pin the tags in the first place, no problem. Anybody who has access to Seidat can go here, click on the tag icon, and then pin the tags on the front page that you use the most. So for example, I am Emma, I am interested in Finnish and English presentations, and also I'm creating a lot of proposals, and maybe I use sales presentations and webinar content. Now I click the little pin icon here and I have them always in the front page. And now if I want to search for presentations that I want to use, I just click on Emma tag, and now I only have my presentations here. If I only want to see my proposals, I also click proposals, and maybe only English ones, I click English, and now I only have my English proposals visible here. If I want to utilize my colleagues' presentations, I just deselect Emma, and now I have all English proposals here on my dashboard. Simple as that. So what I suggest to do in the beginning, or if you have been using Seidat even for a while, is to remind your users to actually pin the tags on the front page, because once they are here, it is way easier for anybody to use them. If they are not here, it takes some time to even understand that how all of these can be filtered and how you can find your own presentations. You are also able to pin specific presentations to your front page. So for example, if I know that I always will need this agreement template, I go here, click on the pin icon, and now I always have the agreement template here in the beginning. All right, great. Also, if you want to ask questions while I'm talking, please don't hesitate to do that. I will check the chat every once in a while so I know if there are any questions. But all right, so that's how you manage your Seidat team members, and also how do you find the presentations or how users can find the presentations they are looking for. Now, in Seidat, as everything is for everybody and everybody can use each other's materials, of course, it is important to sometimes hide the presentation, and that is also possible. So if you want to hide your presentations, you just click here, presentation access on top of the presentation card, and then from here you can change the access level. By default, everybody has the same access level that they have normally. So for example, sharers can only share presentations and editors and up can only edit the presentation. But if I would want to hide this, I would go there, click no access and update. Now it means that I am the only one who can actually see this presentation. From presentation access, I can also give other people more rights to this presentation. So if I want to give Joona maybe editing rights to this presentation or maybe sharing rights, and then update. Now, me and Joona are the only ones who see this presentation, and I am the only one who can edit. All right. Next up on the agenda, we have content management. So this is what you do, or what it means is how you manage all the content centrally with brand settings, image bank or the media bank, and the smart slides. So back to Seidat, and we're going to start by checking the brand settings. This is something that you should do in the beginning when you start using Seidat. So here we have the brand page, and what we have here is the color palette and also the text styles. Color palette means that you should add here the colors that you want your users to be using in their presentation. So the brand colors that you have in your brand book. If your users create new shapes, so for example, they create a circle shape, they have to select from one of these colors when they start doing that. Sorry. Then if they want to add a background color to their slide, they will also choose from one of these colors. I have to drink a little bit so I don't cough even more. Just a second. So this is a place where you should put all the brand colors that you have in your brand book. The easiest way to do it is by adding here the RGB code or then the hex code. So just copy paste that from the brand book and then you'll be fine. After that, we have all the text styles, so fonts that you can use in your Seidat account. If you sorry, if you want, you can scroll down and then you can see the preview of all of these text styles. So basically, here I have title 80. It is the same as title 80 here. I hope I get rid of this very soon. Sorry for that. All right, so the idea in Seidat is that you set up here all the fonts or the text styles, the sizes of the text, the colors of the text that you want your users to be able to use. So for example, what we have here is title fonts in different sizes. Then we have subheadings, and then we have body fonts. From here, you select the font family. If it very sorry, if it doesn't exist on this selector, then you can contact us, and then we can probably install the font that you have. You have here most of the Google fonts, but we can also install all the rest of them. If you have Adobe font, we can install that, and also if you have a specific web font that you have a license for, we can also install those. And if you don't have the license, we can also buy it for you. So here you select the font family, font weight, font size, line spacing, letter spacing, color. If you want it to be uppercase letters, then you select that, and so on. And once you select these, it means that every time your users create materials, they have to select from these specific text styles. So if they want to suddenly start using Comic Sans in the size 1000, they cannot, because it does not exist in the brand settings. Brand settings are also centrally managed. So if I have, for example, this title 80 in use in 7 million presentations, and I go here to the brand settings and make it a Lata font with a different size, just put a 0 there, and it means that now everywhere where this specific font was used, it looks like this. So it has the size 800 and it is Lato instead of Oswald. I put it a little bit smaller so we can see. So it means that every time you change the brand settings, they will be changed in all the presentations too. So be careful with this, and also that is why you should be careful with who you give the access to these brand settings to. Then next up, other centrally manageable stuff that we have in Seidat, Media Bank. So in the Media Bank, you should add all your customer images here, or not, sorry, customer images, or your images here. So what we have here is we have, for example, different folder for arrows and graphics. Then we have icons, a different folder. We have logos here and so on. So all the material or all the images and videos you want to use on your slides, they should be added here. The idea of the image bank is that you can actually manage images too centrally. So what it means that if you have this logo here in use in some of the presentations and you delete it, it will be deleted from all the slides too. So a good example how you can utilize image bank when you want to update your materials easily is that if you have, for example, you have a logo and it has changed. So previously your logo had this white background and now it has a transparent background. So what you would do in other platforms is that you would go to each slide, delete the old logo, add the new logo, click save, do it again on every single slide. But now that we have Seidat and everything is easy to update, we just simply select both of these images and then click replace. What I did there is that I'm clicking a command on my MacBook. If you are using PC, click on Control and then select both of the images. And now I press here replace. And now I have to choose which image I want to stay here. So I want the new logo that had the transparent background to be here. And so I select it and then replace all. And now, as you can see, the other logo just disappeared. It means that now in all the slides where we had the old logo, it is now replaced with the new one. Makes it way easier to update your own brand, but also if you have, for example, a reference slide where you have all your customer logos, and one of them stops being your customer and you want to delete that from all the places where that has been used and maybe replace it with a new customer logo, then you just go to the image bank, select both of them, replace them, and the change will be happening in all the places where that logo is used. You can also see if any of these images have been used in some of the slides. So you just select the image, then go media info, and you can see that, okay, this is used in 4 slides, meaning that, okay, maybe I shouldn't delete this or otherwise it will have a blank space there. But yeah, image bank, if you want to upload images, you can just drag and drop them here. You can also just copy paste them on the slide or drag and drop them on the slide. They will automatically be saved here in the image bank. And also, if you want to start creating materials by importing your PowerPoints, then you can also import the PowerPoint and it will actually save all the images that have been used in that PowerPoint in your PowerPoint import folder in Seidat. So easiest way to adding images is just drag and dropping them here, or then importing from PowerPoint. All right, then the last way of centrally managing your materials is smart slides. So as I told before, smart slides are slides that can be in multiple presentations at once. So you can easily update million presentations with just one simple click of a button. Here we have the collection of smart slides that we have used in this Seidat account. I am going to sort them with most used. So now we can see that the solution slide here, it has been used in 34 presentations. I can even see which presentation it has been used in. And if I want to make edits to this, I just go here and click edit. Now it will ask me that, are you sure you want to edit this slide? It has been used in 34 presentations and you want the changes to be shown in all the presentations, then you click edit smart slide. And what happens here is that, for example, if I change the background image here, set background image, I go to background images and select something more light, maybe this one, and save. It means now that all of these 34 presentations will now have way lighter background. So that's how it works. So you just go to Smart Slide Bank, select a slide that you want to edit, maybe give it a new background image, or maybe you have to fix a typo that you made here, or whatever you need to be making. Edits to the text, to the images, to the backgrounds, whatever. You just completely can also renew the whole slide. But once you click save, the edits will be shown everywhere where this specific slide is used. I suggest that use also tags not only for presentations, but also for smart slides. So for example, if you create materials with multiple languages, please add the language tags here. So then it's easier for you to see that, okay, do we have, for example, references slide? Do we have it in English? And let's fake that this is Finnish. It's really the same slide, but let's just fake it. Now we can see that, okay, we have the English one and Finnish one. And if we want to edit these slides, then we know that we have to edit both of the language options. All right. When you start using Seidat, you might not be yet sure which slides should be smart slides and which should not be. So I wouldn't go to the Smart Slide Bank and click here, create smart slide. Instead of that, I would go to dashboard, import what I want to import to Seidat, or maybe just create blank presentation or use the templates that I have there, and then make normal slides into smart slides. So first you have the option to just create basic slides here. I'm just going to create a simple slide here, add a nice background image. Oh, I just very fastly clicked something. Okay, this one. Then here, text, moi. I'm going to edit the text style. As you can see, here we had only the options that you have in the brand settings. So that's how it works. And then save. Now, I want this to be a smart slide. And I go back to the presentation. So if you want to create any slide to be a smart slide, you don't have to go to the Smart Slide Bank at all. You just go here to click edit presentation. So you see the full presentation, all the slides that you have in there, and then give it a name. This is going to be a cover, not caps lock, cover page. And once this is ready to be a smart slide, I just go here, click slide options, and make smart slide. What it means now is that this will be found from the Smart Slide Bank, first of all. So it is here, cover page, used in one presentation. And if I want to create any presentation and use that slide here, I can just add it here from the slide bank, go to Smart Slide Bank and add it here. Now, this same slide is in 2 different presentations. And if I make edits to it, the changes will be shown on every single presentation or every single slide where I have used this presentation. So that is the basic idea of smart slides. If you create by accident duplicates while you're just creating the first smart slides, you can also merge those the same way as you merge in the image bank. So for example, if we would have here I'm gonna fake it again, cover page. So let's say that now we have 2 different cover pages and I know that this is something that people shouldn't use. Maybe I want to merge them together. So I select both of these by clicking on the little check icon here. And then here we have replace all. Now I select once again the slide that I want to stay. So it's this one, the beautiful cover page that I just created. And then I click replace all. And now all the presentations that had each one of those slides will have this cover page or this new cover page slide. This is very useful, for example, if you have this kind of contact pages, for example. So we have Fredrik's contact page here, then we have Heikki's contact page here. And then if Fredrik stops working for us and we still have these presentations out in the customers end, we might want to change Fredrik's contact information to be Heikki's contact information in every single presentation where this slide exists. Then we would just simply click, replace all. Heikki is the one that is staying here, and then replace all. Now, in all the presentations where we had Fredrik's contact page, now we have Heikki's contact page. So very easy to centrally manage all the presentations, all the materials, all the text boxes, logos, whatever you have in your presentations. If you have any questions about brand management and content management, now it is the right time to ask. I know I went quite quickly forward with how to edit presentations and how to edit smart slides, but this is something that I'm only going to go quickly through today. If you want to see more of how to create beautiful slides, then watch our user training webinar. There we go through how to edit slides, create presentations, and also in other webinars, we are also giving other guides on how to create visually perfect slides. I will comment them in the chat, and also we will add them to the recording, so then you can just find yourself into those webinars or those recordings too. But the simple way to create Seidat presentations is just to create presentation here, and then give it a name, Emma's presentation, add the tags that you want to have there, Emma, and then English, and then create. Now we have a blank presentation, and if you want to start from a blank page, so let's say that you don't want to import any of your PowerPoints, you just want to start creating from the blank, then you go here, edit presentation, and start creating slides. If you don't use any existing materials, you just add simple, empty slides wherever you have. And as you can see, I just added these slides to the right and also to down. And this is how you create the matrix format in Seidat. So here, now I have already this kind of structure for a presentation. I start naming these slides. So cover, company, we have then maybe product 1, then we have product 2 and product 3 and so on. So now I already know how I'm going to start structuring this presentation. If I want to move these slides to another place, we just click track slide and then track it wherever we want it to stay. Simple as that. We can also track the whole stack of slides to be in wherever we want them to be. And then we want to create, when we want to start editing the actual slide, so the contents of it, you click on the pen icon here and start creating. One thing that I will remind you to do here is that in Seidat, all of these presentations are scalable according to the viewer's screen size. So what it means is that if we normally would go here and add a background image, we would probably go here and add media. to open the image bank. Background images, and then we select this one. Now we have here an image. This is something that you should not do in Seidat. So now instead of adding the image from the image bank, I'm gonna go ahead and have a new slide here, and I'm gonna add it from here. So set background image. I'm gonna select the same scenery image and then click save. And the difference between these two methods is that the latter one actually scales according to the screen size of the viewer. So now if I would play this presentation, this is actually quite bad quality image. I only see it now. But anyways, now this one that I added the last, it fills my whole screen. If I go full screen, it's still, the whole screen is now the image. But if I look at the first slide, we have these white little blank spaces here. And that is because it is not a background image. And if it's not a background image, it won't scale. The difference is not that big here, but if I would be using this on my phone, it's a big difference. So now this image scales according to my, let's pretend that this is my phone screen, and this one does not. So always when you start creating slides in Seidat, please add background image or then background color here. All the other things that you want to use when you're creating new slides in Seidat, if you want to add elements, you find them on the left. So textiles, let's add I'm just going to do a simple slide here. We have title, almost able to spell it correctly. And then if we want to add some shapes, maybe a nice rectangle here, make it a different color. As you can now see that we have the brand colors here visible only. So the ones that we set up in the brand settings. And then maybe we want to add some images here too. So let's not put a background image, but instead we want to have our logo here. So we go here and then we add it. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Please don't also come at me for this slide being very ugly. This is just an example of how you can do things. But this is basically how you create simple slides in Seidat. If you want to have the more advanced things here, or for example, you want to add your website here, you will still add them from the left. So add iframe. This is how you embed websites here. Add iframe. Write the website here, www.seidat.com. And now we have our own website here on the slide. How the viewers see it when they start looking at your slides is like this. So now this works exactly the same way as it does on our normal website. So you can scroll them. This is why I showed you my calendar, because I think that might be a bit better example of what you can actually use. Of course, if you want to have your website here, you can do that. And while we are here, I'm gonna link this how to create visually attractive presentations for you in the chat and also in the recording. So then you don't do the same kind of slides that I do, but instead you do the pretty ones that Paulus and Joona know how to do. Just a second, so I will add it to the chat too. So this is a recording, so you can watch it anytime you want. Perfect. So now we know how to create simple slides in Seidat, not ugly as this one. And if you have any questions on what kind of contents you can add to Seidat, please don't hesitate to ask us while you're still creating the slides. We have a chat here. It is open during business hours, and we usually answer in 7 seconds. So don't hesitate to ask anything from us from there. We will answer as fast as we can. All right. Now, we have gone through how to manage your team or your team members in Seidat, happen from users page. How to manage your brand, happens from brand page. Images and videos that you can use from the media bank. Smart slides from the smart slide tab, and then all the presentations on the dashboard. We remember that first when we start using Seidat, or if we have already used Seidat for a while but haven't done this, we edit the DAX so it's easier for people to find their own presentations. We have learned a lot today, but we're still going to go through something that I know that many of you are probably interested in. And what that something is, it is analytics. So, analytics in Seidat are internal and external. And what that means is that if you just simply create presentations to Seidat and you want to get some information of how those have been used, you can get that in Seidat. So basically, when your salespeople start sharing materials with Seidat, they do that with a link. So instead of sending PDF copies of your presentations, you go to your Seidat account, you go here, share presentation, and then you create new link that you send to the customer. The link looks like this. Anybody can open it. You can just copy paste it to your email or wherever you want to, and it looks like this. So the viewer can see all the slides that you have added here. That's how you share presentations with Seidat. And now when people open these presentations, you get internal analytics in Seidat. So when you go to the sharing page and you have the link there, you also have here view counter. So this will actually count the amount of views this link gets. So basically the amount of times that this specific link has been opened. If you're logged in to this specific Seidat account, so your Seidat account, your view will not be counted. As you can see, this link that I just opened, it is still unopened. But if I open it in incognito window, meaning that it doesn't recognize me as a Seidat user, we have here viewed once. If you like, this is actually something that many salespeople like, you can also subscribe to email notifications here. So if you click on the little bell icon here, you will subscribe to email notifications. So you will be notified every single time somebody opens the link. In the email, it will tell you what is the name of the presentation that has been opened and also the link node that you have added. So for example, if I sent this to Fredrik, I would write here send to Fredrik, and now once somebody, maybe Fredrik, opens this as I have sent it to him, this was now a fake situation done with the incognito window, but it looks like this now on my email. Gonna zoom in a little bit. So here, Emma's offer deck, asiakas OO, got a new link view, and here we have the link node sent to Fredrik. So if I would be a sales guy, I would have sent this offer to Fredrik, and I get this notification. I know that, okay, this is the time that Fredrik goes through this presentation. Maybe I should give him a call, or at least I know now that when we have the next meeting, I know that he has gone through the materials that I have sent to him. So that is the simple in-app analytics that we have in Seidat. If you want to go further than that, usually that information that is inside the app is enough for the sales guys. But if you want to go further than that, you can also integrate different analytics tools for Seidat. So for example, the most used, I think, it is Google Analytics. So the same way as you have Google Analytics on your website, you can add it to Seidat. It means that once somebody opens and watches your presentations, they open it with the link, they will be tracked. Of course, it means that they have to accept the cookies, but same way as your website. If somebody goes to your website, goes there to different pages, you know it from Google Analytics. From Seidat, you know the same. So somebody opens the link, and in Analytics, you will have the name of the presentations that they went to, so name of the page, and then you have the name of the slide. So again, name in the page. So here, the most viewed presentation has been general teaser for company X, and the most viewed slide is case story with video. And now, how do you integrate Seidat and Google Analytics or any other analytics tool that you might be using? It is through Google Tag Manager. So you probably have been using Tag Manager in other places. If you have not, it means that Tag Manager is this kind of container where you have different tracking pixels that you can use in your website or also in Seidat presentations. So for example, the pixels can be, for example, for Google Analytics. HubSpot has a tracking pixel. If you want to start doing marketing, remarketing to those people who are going to your presentations, you can also have ad pixels there. So Meta, Google Ads, whatever you want. You just simply add Google Tag Manager code to your Seidat. So here in the settings, we have Google Tag Manager container ID. You create a new tag manager, you add the container ID here, and then you will start getting the information to Seidat to your Google Analytics. Of course, you have to do some adjustments in Tag Manager and also in Analytics, but we have a full support article for that if you search from our support site with Google Analytics. I will not go through every step of how to do it right now in this webinar because it would take us more than the 8 minutes that we have left right now. But if you want to do it and if you're not able to do it on the first run, you can also just contact us and we can, of course, help you with that. So that's the most used analytics that are used in Seidat. Other ones that are used are the tracking pixels for advertisements. So the idea here is that you have these different tracking pixels on your website usually. So Google Ads, for example. You can also add the same pixels to your presentations. What it means is that your sales guys send proposals, company decks, whatever they want to send. They send them as a Seidat link to their customers. The customer opens it. The pixel fires. So now they're being tracked. And once that tracks their views, it means that you can also do retargeting to that specific group of audience that has opened, for example, a guide or a proposal or whatever. So the same way as people go to your website and then they get remarketing. Same way works in Seidat. Other types of integrations that you can do, it's not only about tracking people and seeing what they're doing, it is also creating materials automatically. So, for example, if you have a guide on your website, usually it is a PDF format guide. But now that we know that we have Seidat in use, we can actually create a Seidat guide. And the benefits of that is, of course, that it is updated automatically, because you share the Seidat guide with a link, but also you can create guides that are personalized for every single person who orders the guide. How this happens, the guide is just an example. Of course, you can create any kind of materials that you want, but the idea here is that you have, for example, a form on your website where you say, hey, order the guide from here. The user puts their name, company, email, phone number, whatever information they want to get from them. That usually goes to your CRM. And there you have, okay, Emma Ojapuska from Seidat ordered guide how to buy your product. Now, if we want to personalize that guide to Emma Ojapuska, we use Zapier to connect your CRM with Seidat. And what it does, or what it can do, is that it will, for example, duplicate a presentation, so duplicate the guide base that you have, add my name there, so you can put these placeholders inside the presentation, so it will fill up my name, my company, my phone number, whatever. And then it will create automatically, once again, a link, and then send that link to Emma. You didn't do anything here. You only did the automation once, and after that, it works like a charm every time. If you don't want to personalize all of these materials, you just want everybody to get their own link, you can also do that. So you have a form or whatever you want, a different trigger that you want to have. It can also be in the CRM. It triggers the automation, which sends information to Zapier, which sends information to Seidat, and then automation happens. So maybe it creates a new link for a different presentation. It adds the guide. How do you say it? The user who ordered the guide orderer, is that a name? I don't think so. But the person who ordered the guide, it adds that information to the link node and then sends that link to the person. So it's that simple. If Zapier is something you're not familiar with, don't be scared. It is just a tool that you can use to integrate two different softwares or platforms without having any knowledge of how to write code. So I don't know how to write code, but I think it was some time ago. I created my first automation with Zapier. I logged in there, and you can actually very easily figure out how it works, even though you don't have any knowledge of how coding happens. Automation. So what is an integration? You go to Zapier, you first select your CRM or whatever software you want to integrate with Seidat. You select that, and then you select Seidat, and then you can see what is possible. So no coding required. You just click on drop downs and yes, I want to duplicate a presentation when this happens in the CRM and so on. If this is something that you are interested in but didn't quite understand the whole idea right now, or maybe you have an idea of how this could work but you're not sure how to do it, again, you can contact us and we can help you out with this. And we also have a lot of ideas of how to create automations and what kind of material should be maybe automated and what should not be automated. So these are the most used, at least within our customer base, the different ecosystems that are integrated with Seidat. But if you have another in mind, please just ask us if it's possible or try it yourself. Also, just an FYI, if you have Pipedrive in use, we also have a native integration to Pipedrive. So please, if this is something that is interesting to you, just ask us and we will tell you more. All right, the time is up. There has so far been no questions. If somebody has a question, I'm very happy to answer those. But if not, then thank you for the webinar. We will send you this recording afterwards, probably tomorrow, I think, or then a day after, or even today. No, maybe tomorrow. But if you want to come back to something and you don't want to watch the recording, you can also go to our support site, so support.seidat.com, and from there you will find answer to everything. Also, please go to our Seidat Academy in our website, so here, and subscribe for our new webinars or find the recordings of old webinars. So we have everything here and you can order whatever you want from here. If nobody has any questions so far or any more, then I will thank you for this webinar and I hope to see you in the next one.